All right. Welcome to Get Well with Mel. I'm your host, MelissaDHall, and y'all, we got a show for you today. Listen, I am with no one, the only Dr. Keith Perrin. Okay, if you all do not know, he is a co-founder of the culture shifting, culture creating, multi-million dollar brand FUBU, for us, by us. And guess what? Now he here with us. All right, right now, y'all. Let him know. Okay, he's going to tell us what it takes to build $1 million business, multi-million dollar business. Welcome, Dr. Keith. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. Y'all, he came all the way down to Raleigh, North Carolina to holler at your girl. And I am so excited. You know, me and him have known each other for quite a while. We met up in New York, right? In Soho for the Shopify event. You know, we hung out there.
Tech Week, right?
Yes, Tech Week. We hung out there. They had me smoking my first cigars, okay? Yes, and so you listen, now we're here, okay, and we're getting down to it because, of course, I'm in my 90-day run of becoming a nationwide talk show host, and I got to have somebody who's done it before, okay, been there, did that. It's going to happen. It definitely is going to happen. So, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. So, tell the audience, right, how did you get started? Because we know how the story ended and still is. So how did you get started?
So I'm going to go back a little bit because everybody pretty much knows the FUBU story and how Daymond John mortgaged his house for $100,000 and recruited a couple of friends to build his brand. But my journey goes a little beyond that.
Right.
I know it started in high school. My mother sent me to this high school, Bayside High School, where I wanted to go to the neighborhood high school where all my friends were going, and she absolutely didn't want me to go to this school called Andrew Jackson High School. Andrew Jackson was real rough at the time, and she knew what type of person I was and type of trouble I was getting into, and she didn't want me to go there. So she sent me to Bayside. I hated Bayside in the beginning. You know, I came to love it, but I hated it in the beginning. I would skip school. You know, I would go to school. It was different from junior high school because you can go to junior high school, then you have the deans that will check on you, make sure you're in class. High school is a little different. Like I would go there, look around, and nobody would care, and I'll slip out the back door, and I did that like my whole first year.
You was a delinquent.
There. Oh yeah, for sure. My report card that first year was all red. Like I pretty much failed everything because I wasn't there. And my mother, you know, came home and she looked and she was like, "What are you doing? Like, you're way smarter than this. And what do you always told me you want to buy me a house and you want to do these things for me. How you want to do this if you don't graduate high school?" So there was a program called the co-op program. I don't think they have it anymore. I was told they don't have it anymore. But it allows you to go to school a week and then work a week. So I looked at it as, okay, I go to school half the time. And then another time I make money because, you know, I grew up in a single parent household. I didn't have a lot of money. We were on welfare. You know, my pops was gone by the time I was 8. So I didn't have a lot, right? So I figured this would help me. And also my father was a part of the co-op program. He started his career in the co-op program. So I did that. I started working for HUD. I got fired from HUD for no reason, no fault of mine. But, you know, with some racial things going on. Long story, right?
All right.
But I got fired.
As a teenager?
Yeah, I was 17.
Okay, wow.
And one of the ladies there, she always said, "Oh, you remind me of my son with your cute little dimples." And she used to pinch my dimples all the time. And I'm like, I'm been here feeling like I'm 5 years old. So I'm like, wow, this is crazy. But I loved her. She was a sweet lady. She said, "This is unfair to you. I'm going to reach out to some people to help you, you know, get a job somewhere else." So she did that. I wound up getting a job in the private sector. And I really didn't take that job at HUD too serious, which I learned that whatever job you get, you need to take serious and you need to make sure you go above and beyond the call of duty to make sure you can keep your job.
So those people out there who want to be entrepreneurs, and they talking about walking off their jobs, what would you tell them?
No, No,
Okay.
you actually need your job to fund your business.
Yes.
Because how are you going to fund your business? But so what I did was I went out in the private sector. I was able to get a job. I took it serious. I went above and beyond the call of duty. So when I got to that next job, I was trying to do everything. Like I was trying to play all positions, know all the jobs in there. And in doing that, it allowed me to get 4 promotions in 18 months.
Oh, wow.
So I went from rental assistant to office assistant to assistant manager to property manager in 18 months, a year and a half. So I was 20. By the time I was 20, I was running a $6 million property in Harlem. I was the youngest property manager in the company at that time, at 20 years old. And I thrived at it, you know, until I got about 25-ish, 26. And through that time, we were doing the same thing. We were doing it with Daymond. We were doing the FUBU thing, but it wasn't consistent.
Okay.
So he was like, y'all need y'all to quit your jobs and come, let's do this full time. And I'm like, bro, we not making no money over here. I have a baby to support. Like, you know.
So let's talk about that. Let's go there. Okay. So at the time, you're still in property management and you meet Daymond.
No, I knew Daymond from high school. When I went to Bayside,
okay.
Yeah, that's how I met him.
So how did you get approached? Like, how did this all come together?
No, we were hanging out every day. We were doing the thing. And Daymond always had little schemes that he would come up with, whether it was, you know, selling hats over here or doing some odd jobs over here. He always had something going on. So
everybody got a friend like that.
Yeah, right.
So
he had this tie top hat that he used to have. It was like the Dr. Seuss type hat where it goes around your head, but then it falls down and it had the little tie on it. And to me, it was the ugliest hat ever. You know, if you go back and you look through, I think like the Jungle Brothers, there was a lot of people who wore it back then, but to me, it wasn't my thing. I'm a baseball hat type of guy.
Okay.
So we were already friends, and when he came up with this, he tried to do it on his own, and it wasn't popping off. So he basically recruited us to help him, and we did. We you know, we was around each other every day, so we was helping him. But he wanted us to quit our job and focus on this 100%. And I said, I can't do that. Like I have a career. I'm looking at, you know, I'm trying to be the secretary of HUD or, you know, get back or the president of this company. I'm trying to, you know, advance. And so I waited and waited and waited. And then, you know, towards the end, I was like, you know what, let me just take a leap of faith because we've been doing this for a while. Things are moving forward. Let me see how this works. And by the grace of God, it took off.
How old were you when you took that leap?
25.
25. So from 20 to 25.
25, 26.
You were working on this with him, kind of like on a part-time basis. So let's talk about that. And again, because there's a lot of people out there who want to be entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs is the in thing now. I myself, I've been an entrepreneur since like 2010. And so a long time, like with you, before it was cool. Right. And we know that it's hard, right? It is a real process. Yes, it is. So tell us, because again, we see the success. When did you finally say, okay, I see that this is a real thing, because you have children, that you felt confident enough to leave your job and go all in?
Well, we were doing this thing called the Black Expo. I don't know if you guys know it or remember it, but it was this trade show called the Black Expo, and we would do that in each state. Like they had one in New York, they had one in Philly, they had one in DC, they had one in Atlanta. So we would try to go to all of them and sell our clothes there. And I think one year in New York, we did like 2,000 shirts, and we sold like 2,000 shirts. And I think it was like a 3 or 4. I think it was 4 days. We sold 2,000 shirts in like a day and a half.
Wow.
So Daymond had to go out. We stayed at the booth to tell people, we ran out, but we come back tomorrow, blah, 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 blah. But he went out and got more shirts and sold them up and got them done up. And I think it was maybe like 500 shirts. We did that for the last couple of days and we sold out. And once we sold out, I was like, damn, we sold home shirts? Like, and that was the show that we realized like we didn't go home with no shirts.
So let me ask you, get into that, those 2,000 shirts. What was it that led to you all being that popular where 2,000 people bought your shirts? Was that just before LL Cool J?
This is before LL Cool J.
Okay.
This is, you know, we were doing this like LL didn't come around. Like he came around maybe around in the middle of this thing, you know, because I'm a senior citizen now, so I have to remember all this stuff. But no, but the only thing that he did was wasn't any commercials. We put a shirt on him. He was leaving for LA to do the TV shows, and we caught him and we put a shirt on him, and we took a picture and we put it in Word Up magazine.
Yeah, I remember Word Up magazine.
Yeah, so that was the only thing that was out, and it wasn't like we had a gang of money so that we can promote it forever. We put it in there once here, once there. It wasn't like how being consistent with it. But the fact that it was the message behind the shirt that people tapped into for us, by us, and it was 4 young Black men out there hustling these shirts, and they loved the logo, and they just fell in love with the shirt.
I love that. So once that happened, those 2000 shirts, you was like, it's in there. I got it.
No.
No,
it wasn't. It was still like an uphill battle because, we're making these shirts and we're selling these shirts, but we're not in any stores.
Okay.
Right. We didn't have anybody like an LL at the time. We approached him later on after we got into the stores, and we were like, yo, we want you to be a partner and, come aboard and help us rock this. Because he actually is the one that made us do it, because he was like, yo, y'all need to get with a celebrity, bro. You know what I'm saying? B is his word, celebrity B, and have them rock your stuff and to take off. And we were like, really? Okay. Don't you do it?
Yes.
So we did that, and then he was like, listen, I got a lot of things on the table, and then he wound up just, we bugged him a lot. So he thought about it, and he was from around the way. So he was like, I'm gonna help these kids. I'm gonna see what these guys are persistent. We're gonna see what they do. But he also said, if you guys make anything out of this, take care of me.
Okay.
So, and then I had the pleasure of giving him his first check, which he totally flipped out.
Really? I love that. I love that. So let's talk about it. So what is your role? What was your role in the FUBU enterprise?
I had a few roles. I started as I was folding clothes and packing clothes, and keeping the schedule of where we need to be, what videos were coming out, and and then we moved into, once we got our deal, we moved into Empire State Building, and I was doing sales at first, and then I started doing marketing, and then we started doing videos, putting our clothes in videos. So I wanted to make sure that somebody was still doing that, because now we got money, everybody's moving around, everybody got money now. Nobody wants to go stand on a video set all day. But I took that responsibility, amongst myself, and said, let me go ahead and be that person. So I was in charge of product placement. So I would do all the TV shows, movies, videos, and actually travel out. I'd be in LA on studio sets, and I was everywhere.
You was the overseer.
Yeah, I was everywhere.
You were the overseer. You were operations.
And I was able to get it done in a large part due to me being one of the co-founders. So when people saw me on set, they was like, "Oh, yo, dog, you on set, all right?" And I'm working like a slave, though. I'm not like out there on some prissy stuff. I'm actually working and pulling out clothes, and and then how people, yo, let me get a shirt. Man, hold up, bro. This is for the artist. Anything left, I'll give you a shirt, but let me handle my business first. So they respected that, and I just made a lot of things happen. I was talking about it today. I spoke at Fidelity Investments today, and I was mentioning that one time Daymond thought my job was easy. He wanted to put other people in my position to do my job, because he felt like I had an easy job. But once those people got in the position, they couldn't do it like me. One gave away $2 million worth of clothes.
Oh my!
And the other one couldn't get anything done because nobody knew who he was. So after we missed like these maybe like 4 or 5 major videos, he was like, "Bro, you realize how hard this thing was, man. Yeah, take this back, because this is hard."
Yeah. So let's talk about that. It's how many of you all as far as
It's
like
4 of us.
It's 4 of us.
Yeah.
So who are the 4 parts of
It's
FUBU?
Daymond John, it's J. Alexander Martin, who's the vice president, Carl Brown, another co-founder, and myself.
And yourself. Okay. And so what was each person's role? Because there are people out here who are looking to get in businesses, looking to get in partnerships, right? Because I do not believe you can build anything great on your own.
No,
Okay.
you can't. You absolutely can't.
Yeah. So
it takes a team. It takes, like back in the days, they would say it takes a village.
Yes.
It takes a team. You need a team of like-minded people, everybody on the same page. We all had different roles. I know Jay, he was more or less the fashion person because he loved fashion. He went to FIT, Fashion Institute of Technology. We would send him to school to get answers for us, to come back and bring us answers. And he worked at Macy's. He was in the Navy. This is what he wanted to do. This is not necessarily what I wanted to do.
Okay.
But Carl, at the time he was working in the warehouse. So when he came aboard, and started working, we started doing it together. Me and him was doing sales.
Okay.
So, honestly, I can't tell you what Carl's job was. What he did on a day-to-day basis, but he was involved. He was involved, and he did whatchamacallit. He started FUBU Records.
Okay.
So that that was just a couple of years in we started that. So he was able to be the CEO of FUBU Records, and we put out an album of I'm going to say collaboration. That's not a collaboration. We put out an album of all different, we had Super Cat on there, we had NDRE, we had Dawn Robinson, we had Eric Sermon, we had Nas, we had LL, Ludacris, Keith Murray. It was produced from, we got tracks from Pharrell, we got tracks from Trackmaster, just a lot going on. So he was able to put that together and find his little niche in that. But my niche was basically product placement and dealing with the artists and stuff like that. Like I was just like that people person who can go to any artist and sit in the studio with them 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and vibe, and so that
you didn't mind that.
No, because he was cool. It was like, I gotta give you a perfect example. Went to Houston for the first time in I think it was like 99, 98 or 99, and they invited us down. Rap a Lot invited us down. I didn't know where we were going. My partner standing up there with the 10-carat ring and the 2 diamond chains, and I'm like, who's coming to pick us up? And he's like, I don't know. So I'm like, you don't know? What the? And he's like, no, we good. And I'm like, bro, you don't even know who's coming to pick us up. Like, who we down here to see? So it was a lot of kind of situation like that. And then, so I was like a little nervous, but it wound up being Rap a Lot. Like he didn't even tell me it was Rap a Lot. He just told me some Texas people that invited us down. So we got down there and we did our thing. And I met Bun's manager, Red Boy, down there. So Red Boy, I knew he was managing Bun. I was like, yo, I want to meet Bun. He was like, yeah, come down. I'll set it up, whatever. So I told Daymond, I said, yo, I met Bun B. He wanted to meet you too. Come on down with me. He was like, okay. So we get down there. So Daymond's like sitting at the table, but he doesn't want to go in the studio. He's just sitting there. I'm like, come on, bro. He said, no, go do your thing, man. Go work your magic. So I went in there at the time, and Bun was smoking, and I had something that I had from New York, and I let him smell that, and we vibed really quick on that. And he was like, yo, where's Daymond? And I was like, he's out there. Tell him to come in. So Daymond came in, and we just formed that relationship. But if it wasn't for me making it happen and setting it up, they probably wouldn't have never met.
I love that. So would you say, like, again, your operations, you're more like the people person. Like you're the one who everybody likes. Would you say that?
Yeah,
you can get along with everyone?
Yeah, the energy is definitely different when like it's funny that you asked me this because it's the same question they asked me earlier. It's like they'll walk up and they'll be like, yo, B, what's up, man? Yo, Carl, what's up, bro? You good? Yo, Jay, what's up? Yo, K, what's up? It's be totally different.
Yes. No, everybody needs that. Like definitely running a business, everybody got a role. You get, I'm saying, everybody got a role, and people like you in your role who get along with everybody, who can soften it up, that go between.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we need y'all because if you're not there, right, things can fall apart. Things can get misconstrued.
Right.
Because these other people here, like those A-type personalities who are like the drivers, they don't really communicate well with other folks. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you are the one who everybody like. Yeah, seriously.
And I was like, they called me the street guy, the hood guy, whatever you want to call it. But this is who I've always been. And, you know, when I came in this game, you know, I'd never changed for nobody. Like, I'm the same person that I've always been. I'm a little wiser now, you know. But even my friend, who's one of my good friends, he says, "Yo, you was Cardi B before Cardi B." Now he always had these crazy sayings, and I said, "What the hell are you talking about?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, because I didn't know what he was talking about. But he said, "You know, you've been real since day one." You know, we always say that about Cardi B. Like, Cardi B, she.
So did you know her before?
No, I didn't know. I actually was supposed to meet with her and give her some clothes prior to her blowing up, but she got on Love and Hip Hop, and she just did her thing, and it was gone. So I never had a chance to meet her.
So let's talk about blowing up, right? Let's talk about making your first million. Okay, when did that happen?
Oh, that happened early. Being that we did the Black Expo, and so we always call it planting seeds, right? So we did the Black Expo, not knowing what it was going to give us in return. So
how much did you invest to do the Black Expo?
I don't know. I don't remember right now. I think the table, for the days was like maybe 175 a day or something like that.
That's probably like 500 now.
Yeah, to have a little, I mean, you know, you get a 10 by 10. This was like a 5 by 5. It was like half of this table. And that was it. You had a little table.
Yeah, boxes in the back, huh?
No, under the table.
Under the table.
Yeah, under the table. But it was I call it planting seeds because being that we did it all over the place, people, it was nowhere to be found. There was no internet. There was no stores you can buy it in. So you had to buy it from the Black Expo. So being that every year we came back, we sold more and more and more because people couldn't find it anywhere. And they loved it. And whenever they took it back to their, you know, their state or wherever they were from, people were like, "Yo, that's a dope shirt." Okay. So they always been like, "Yo, I'm gonna give you some more of these when I get back." But they would never like divulge
where they got it from.
Yeah, they wouldn't tell everybody where they got it from. So what happened was when we first got the deal. Okay, let me go back a little bit because Fredro Star, we've been trying to get on for a while. So once we did the Magic Show, the Men's Apparel Guild in California, which is actually held in
it still goes on
Vegas. Yeah, but they change the name sometimes and they change it back. I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, then we did that show. I couldn't do the show because I was a property manager at the time. I couldn't take off a week just to go down there. So I sent my cousin with them to help him, you know, tug shit around. So can I pronounce it? Okay. All right. Yeah.
Okay.
So, sorry about
that. It's okay. It's okay. Go ahead.
So they all went down there and they wound up writing $300,000 in orders. So I'm at the house when they get back. They like, "Yo, you owe $300,000 worth of orders." I was like, "What?" I said, "Yo, we about to get paid." So we all started jumping around, having fun. Then we was like, "Hold up. How the hell are we gonna make $300,000 worth of product?" It was like, "Oh God, another problem, right?" On a good problem, it was another problem. Yeah. So Damon's mother was like, "Just put an ad in the paper saying, you know, you got $1 million in orders and you need financing. But we only got 300,000. What did I say? Put $1 million in orders." So we did that.
So y'all put it in the paper?
We put it in the New York Times, and people started calling us, offering us all crazy amounts of money, 10 million, 20 million.
So hold on, let's talk about this. Talk about this. So you put in the New York Times, in what section? It's
business section.
Like were you asking for people for money or just like a headline? Like
no, we put an ad in the paper.
An ad?
Yeah, saying clothing company has $1 million in orders, need financing.
Oh, they don't do that anymore, do they?
They probably do.
I didn't know that.
You can put an ad in any paper.
And say clothing company needs money.
Yeah. Like if you ever turn to the back of the papers, you see all those ads in the paper. I think they still there. I don't read the newspaper.
I mean, yeah, I didn't know that was still a thing. Oh, well, that was a thing, period.
This was in the 90s. So,
okay.
This is way back when.
Okay.
But we did that, and a lot of people, a lot of sharks, a lot of snakes, a lot of shiesty people was calling, offering us 10, 20, 50 million over the phone.
Really?
So, we're from the hood, so we was like, go ahead, anybody giving us 50 million. What are you talking about? But we did get a call from Samsung. Samsung, they were starting a textile division.
Okay.
And they were looking for, clothing companies. So we went out there and actually Daymond went out there and met with them. He didn't want us, we were too hood. We was in our, I'm saying.
Okay.
On that back then. So he went down there and handled it himself, came back. Guy said he liked it, whatever, he'd call him, never called. So Fredro Starr came over one day and was
Who's that?
From the group Onyx.
Okay.
So the short bald head guy,
okay.
Group Onyx, my guy, he came over and was like, yo, I'm doing this show called New York Undercover. I want to wear your clothes on the show. So at that particular time, we were only doing videos. So we had no major shows, no TV shows.
Yeah, that's like crazy.
That. So he came and he said he wanted to do it. He wanted to wear it rather, and we laced him up, and he went out and did his thing, and then it was maybe about a month or two later, the show came on, and we used to always watch New York Undercover.
Yeah, everybody watched New York Undercover now. Perez, Malik Yobo.
Shout out to my man Malik.
It was the show. That's major primetime TV.
Yeah, so we always watched it, and we're sitting there watching it one day, and Fredro Starr's walking down the block with the shirt on, like, oh wow, like he got it on, and then he got killed in the shirt.
Oh my God!
But it was a scene that literally seemed like it took 30 seconds for him to die. So it was just all FUBU on the screen.
Everybody just seeing it. Yeah, so oh my gosh!
Our partner saw it, and he called us back and said, "Yo, you guys are still out there doing your thing, man. Like, let's set up another meeting." And we set up another meeting, and the rest is kind of like history.
Okay.
And we moved into the Empire State Building on the 48th floor. And we was in a tight little office like this with 8 people running around, bumping each other. We had no desks. We was just like sitting in it.
Making phone calls in the corner.
We're sitting in the conference rooms. It's 2 conference rooms and 2 offices next to each other. And then the reception right here. And they were like really small rooms. It wasn't major. And then once that first, you asked me about making the first million, all those seeds we planted with Black Expo. Once we made it to that mainstream level and we put our stuff in the stores, it blew out. So our deal was you got to make $5 million in the first 3 years so that they wouldn't take the name of the brand and all of that stuff, or take your brand from you, or
who would take your brand?
Samsung. You had to pay them back.
Oh wow! So Samsung financed.
Yeah, Samsung.
And
Samsung
so you had to sign an agreement with them.
And we had to make $5 million in the first 3 years, or pay them back, or they take our name of our brand.
How much did they give you for that deal?
They didn't give us anything. They just backed us. They just put all the money behind us to do what we needed to do.
Okay.
And not realizing that we were already a moving train. So when they gave us the money back, we made $5 million. And I was told $5 million. I know Daymond sometimes changes the numbers, but we made $5 million the first season. So we came out in like September or August or something like that. By the time November came around, we had already made $5 million. In a couple of months span. And then by the time spring rolled around, we were at 20 million. Wow. So they were like,
so life changed completely for all of you all.
Yeah, they were like, oh God, these guys got their finger on the pulse. Like, let them do what they do. And we rocked out. And then we just kept going.
So let me ask you a fun question here. You started making all that money, right? Making 20 million, whatever your portion is, but you were a multimillionaire. What was like the biggest splurge like you got? Like, what were you like, okay,
I don't know. I wasn't like me, I don't believe in splurging ridiculously. You know, I think my biggest flex was, which was the dumbest thing I ever did, was I leased a Navigator truck. I put $40,000 worth of equipment in the truck. So the truck was a $55,000 truck. I leased it, so I paid like maybe 28, something like that for the truck. I put 40,000 in the truck. I had TVs, I had regular TV, I had satellite TV, I had refrigerators, I had PlayStations, I had TVs all in, like in the headrest and all that stuff. The illest sound system that you can ever hear, because back then people's sound systems was the rattle, and I didn't like that. So when he did my truck, it never rattled, but when you got in there, it was like, ooh, and everybody used to love my truck. But I was on some fly high horse thing, and when those 3 years was up for the lease, I was like, I don't want that car no more. That car's old. I'm gonna get me a new car. So I paid another $10,000 to take all this stuff out and put it back to factory.
Oh my God.
And then I gave the car back. And I was just like, it was the dumbest thing I wasted. That was the dumbest thing I ever did.
You was making too much money.
Yeah.
You was making too much money. Okay. So let me ask you, like when you were building FUBU, really grinding, right? What was your routine? Like were you waking up at 5 a.m. every morning?
Yeah, I get up at like 5, 6 anyway every morning. I get on a Saturday morning, I'm up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Like I can't sleep late. Like and I've always been that because I've been working these jobs, so I was conditioned to get up early. So my body's like a natural alarm clock. I get up like, boom, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Do you organize your day? Are you working out? Like, what are some of your success habits?
Back then, I wasn't doing none of that. You know, I was eating wrong food, eating at the wrong times.
Okay.
You know, not really taking care of myself the way I should. You know, just kind of winging it. It was just a winging it type of thing. Like I get up and yeah, you know, I know what I'm going to do that day at work and stuff like, but I never was like on a schedule, like, oh, I go to the gym and eat and then I do hits at 9 and then I never had that type of schedule.
And you still made it.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you know, that's a big thing now.
Because you know what it is actually, it's not what you do, is how you do it. You know, you can get up and exercise and do all that stuff and all that motivational, inspirational, affirmations and all that stuff. Is, you know, whatever floats your boat. But if you don't get up and go do that work and put in that work, you know, ain't nobody gonna do it for you. You know, there were times where, you know, I would literally get up 5 o'clock in the morning, go to work. We'll all be at work around 9-ish, 10-ish, the latest. I don't care if we were out till 6 in the morning. We're still in the office at 9, 10 the next morning. And we would party hard. Like there were times where my parking lot bills are like $3,000 a month.
Parking lot bills?
Yeah, because in New York, you no parking, like you can't park on the street. So then I had a nice truck, so I would park in a parking lot everywhere. And then if you got a Suburban, it's always more, and, you know, so we would do 2 or 3, 4, sometimes 4 parties a night. So I had to park it. I got to spend $30, $40, $50 in each parking lot, you know, so you calculate that up to the month. Yeah. You know, and that's a lot of money.
But that's also how you would sell too, like one of these parties.
Yeah, but see, my thing was, yeah, I'm parking at the parking lot right next to the club because I'm not trying to get robbed when I come out of the club or walk down the block, or because I never really had no security. You know, Daymond had security, which kind of was like our security because he was around Daymond and we were all together. But if I walked off to the bathroom, nobody walked to the bathroom with me.
So let me ask you a question. Speaking of sticky situations, have you ever gotten to a sticky situation with all of y'all together?
Yeah, it was a few.
What happened?
I remember one night we tried to put our name on Mike Tyson's boxes. Right? He was fighting and we went to his camp and he was like, yo.
Was this in Vegas or Madison Square Garden? You don't remember?
I don't know where it was. It wasn't like we were at the event. We were just talking to his people, and they came back to us with like $3-4 million. He was like, "What? To put our name on the shorts? Like, wow! Like, it ain't. We love to, but it ain't working." Right? So, our security was telling us about Daymond security. My boy Grim was telling us about Lennox Lewis and how great he was, and he was coming up, and we need to take a look at him. So we looked at him and we was like, "Yo, this dude is tough. We like him." So we approached this camp. I think we paid like $250, $275 to put our name on his shorts, and he was like, develop a relationship with him. He was cool. And then what happened was he started knocking people out. So he was wearing our shorts at every fight. And then the Tyson fight came up where he had to fight Tyson. And we was like, man, like we love Tyson. I ain't even gonna lie. It's not like we didn't have the respect for him because he's always been an icon to us. But we was like, man, if he beat Tyson without shorts on, bro, that's gonna be big. And we will turn up.
Yeah.
So the fight was in Memphis. And we went down to Memphis. And we was all hyped up. Everybody was dressed. Everybody had on brand new everything. Like we was in the stadium. Like, yeah, it's about to be there, go down. And when he got knocked out, he was like, "Yo."
He got knocked out with your shorts on?
Tyson got knocked out. He put him down.
Mike Tyson got knocked out?
Mike Tyson got knocked out.
Oh my God!
So we was like, "Yo, we're about to turn up." We found out where the club was. We was like, "Yo, we're gonna open the bar. We're gonna do it up big." So we leave there. We all go change clothes for the club.
Yeah.
To have another outfit on.
Oh my God.
So we get to this bar in Memphis. This club in Memphis, and it's like a strip club type of club. So we go, you know how it is.
Yeah.
We go upstairs to the club, and we walk in. DJ's right over there to the corner. So we go over there and we say, "Hey, we here, we about to turn up." And so he's on a mic, FUBU boys in the house, they about to da. We take a step out of the booth to walk into the club. We're already in the club, but like to walk into the main part. Oh, you hear blah, blah. And security just pushed us all on the floor, covered us, and was like, "Yo, what the fuck?" We was like, "What the fuck going on?" He said, "Yo, I'm sorry, Chris, but
it's okay.
He said, "What?" He said, "When I tell y'all to get up, and we getting out of here."
Right.
So he saw that everything was clearing up. We got up and we left. And somebody had got shot, I think, in the head at that party and died. So we didn't even get to do anything, celebrate.
You saved your money that day.
Yeah, but we didn't spend that. That was marketed at its finest.
I know. So what happened after that? All right, so Mike Tyson got knocked out.
That was it. We went back to the hotel. And
no, but I'm talking about as far as the business now. You go to another level because now he got knocked out Mike Tyson.
Yeah, we were always making like these historic moments. Like we were the first company to receive an Essence Award. It was only given to individuals at that time. So we were the first company to do that. We was the first company to trademark a number, which was 05 that we had.
Really?
Yeah, it was a bunch of firsts. We got a lot of firsts going on.
So let's talk about that because I think that it's a difference between a company versus a culture shifter, right? Like what you all are. So let's talk about some of the things that played into that for those thinking, because I'm like this. When it comes to a business, I don't just try to do a business. I create an ecosystem. Right. What was part of the FUBU ecosystem? I know you had FUBU Records. Then you had, because it's not just clothes, right?
It was clothes at that time. So what we did was when we put out FUBU for the men, right? The women started attacking us. Like, where's the women's stuff? And then they were like, I gotta wear my man's t-shirt and cut it up and do this and do that. And we were like, okay, well, we're gonna figure out something. So we started licensing early. So we went from FUBU men's, the FUBU ladies, then from FUBU ladies to FUBU kids, and then from FUBU kids to FUBU sneakers, then from that to baby clothes and outerwear and underwear. We had so many divisions. So even when we built our booth, because we got to a point where we were building these booths in the Magic Show, and for like $750,000 twice a year. So we spent $1.5 million just on the booth. So this is the booth. When you first come in the booth, you have the men's, then you have the ladies, then you have the kids. So it was almost like a department store where you walk through the booth and you see everybody. So that's how we did it. We did it like that. And then once we got 3-4 years in, because we always thought it was going to be done after 3 years. We was like, yo, this ain't going to last for 3 years. It's going to be over. So we got to save our money and do whatever we got to do. When it wasn't over, we felt it was going to be over. So then we built a community overseas where we opened up like 200 freestanding stores overseas. Wow. So, you know, we did places like Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Milan, we was in Paris. I mean, just so many places that you wouldn't even, Germany, like it was just places that I went to the one that we opened in Japan. We opened one in South Africa. Wow. In Johannesburg, where I went to, that's when I met Nelson Mandela.
Wow.
He invited us to, he invited us to his house. So it was crazy because our licensee out there was on the phone and he was talking in another language. And I didn't know what he was talking about while we were in the limo driving, going to our event. And he gets off the phone and says, oh yeah, Nelson Mandela wants to meet you. I said, who? Nelson Mandela? I was like, man, stop playing with me, man. Yeah. He was like, Nelson Mandela wants to meet you guys. And I'm like, how does he know about us? He's like, because I give his kids and his family clothes all the time. So I'm like, okay. So now we all geeked like we're gonna go to his house and meet him, but then he had to fly out to meet a dignitary, so he kind of canceled on us and said, you know, he'll be back, and if he's still around, he'd love to meet us. So we went to like Sun City for another vacation and did some stuff out there, and we cut that short because he came back and called and said, hey, the guys are still around, I would like to meet them. And we just cut the trip short, jumped in the car. I think it was like a 7-hour drive back to Johannesburg. Got back to Johannesburg and went straight to his house.
How was it meeting Nelson Mandela?
Incredible. Incredible. I was shaking like a leaf. I only shook for 2 people. I tell this story all the time. I only shook for 2 people. The day Janet Jackson walked in our office, because that was my girlfriend when I was little, that Penny, I was my girl. And she was just so real, so straight up and down. It kind of threw me for a loop because I'm thinking she's going to be all pretty and, you know, because she's a Jackson and all that, and it was the total opposite, and we had a good time with her. But I was literally like this the whole time she was there. And Nelson Mandela, I was just trying to fix my hat, fix my clothes. I was trying to stand next to this guy. It was crazy. And I had video of it, but I can't find the video. The video, like,
what did he say to you?
He came downstairs.
You were in his mansion?
Yeah, we was in his house. We were sitting in his living room.
What that thing look like? What did it look like?
Well, you know, I couldn't see it a lot, but it was big. It was nice inside. The property was a nice property. But when he came down the steps, it was like a winding staircase like this. So I watched him walk down the steps.
Like coming to America.
Yeah, I'm looking over there like, wow. You know, he got this traditional African garb that he wears, right? So he walks down, he says, gentlemen, how are you? I'm like, hey, how you doing? We stood up, shook his hand. And he was like, oh, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm glad you guys didn't leave. I wanted to meet you. And, you know, said a couple of things. And he was like, I guess this is the time we take pictures. Let's go take pictures. And we walked outside and closed the front door. And we took the pictures right in front of the front door.
I love that. I love that. I'm sure he had a real aura about him.
Oh, I'm telling you, it was incredible. It was incredible.
I love that. So let's talk about, So let's talk about things that you think you could have done, like looking back on it, that you think you could have done differently.
I could have took that job at 106 in Park.
You got a job at 106 in Park?
I was supposed to be, it was supposed to be me and Free.
Really?
In Park. But once I went down there, I was killing it. I killed the audition. I killed that. They was loving me. And he's like, yo. And then I had a friend that was working there, so he was geeked up, and he kept coming back like, you got it, bro, you got it. And we just gonna interview a couple more people and see who we can get. And then next thing you know, Free walked in, and me and Free was talking and bobbing. And then AJ walked in. So I already knew AJ from the clubs, and you know, he was a party promoter back then. So we was just vibing out, laughing, joking. It's like, all right. And then they wanted me. I was like, you know, the first option. And he said, come back tomorrow, do it, you know, audition for Stephen Hill. So went down there the next day, and he was like, so imagine LL's on the set. You haven't seen him in a while. He's coming on, he's promoting. How would you do it? Like, we're not gonna give you any play cards because we heard you off the head. You're great. So come up with a scenario. Boom, boom, boom. So I sat down. I was like, "El, what's going on, baby? You know I ain't seen you since the Phenomenon video, man." I just rolled it off my tongue. Yo, they was like, "Just to say, this guy's gonna be it." And Stephen Hill walked me. He's like, "Listen, I'm gonna send over the paperwork." And so I asked him. I said, "What are the hours that you would need me for this?" He said, "I'm gonna need you from 11 to 7." So we work from like 9-ish, 10-ish to 8. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
you
I was
can't do
like,
that.
I can do it, but I won't know what's going on with FUBU if I do, and I didn't came this far now that I wanted to see it, progress, and I wanted to be a part of it. And I felt like if I wasn't there, I probably would have been erased out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so I wanted to be a part of it, and so I didn't take that job. But now looking back on it, I should have took that job.
You think so?
Yeah, no, I should have took that job because I didn't think about myself first. And that's another thing too. Is like when you are in a situation like I was in, you always put in the company first. You always, for 30-something years, I put the company first. So I never built my personal brand because my brand was the FUBU brand, right? But if FUBU's not doing anything anymore to that level, then where am I at that point?
So let's talk about that. Where is the company at this time? Because it seems like y'all still very relevant, though.
I mean, I stepped away from, I'm kind of doing my own thing with FUBU Radio, and I started teaching, and
and you're on iHeart as well.
I'm on iHeart. I'm on Odyssey. I'm on TuneIn. I'm on all the major streaming platforms. But I started doing that because I felt like I had to start working on me because nobody was going to look out for me like me, So,
and you're a doctor as well. You got your doctorate.
Yeah, I got my doctorate from Christian University.
Okay.
Harvard Christian University in St. Louis. So I got that. I got my Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. So I've been, gaining a couple of awards just on my own now that I'm doing my own thing. I just got a award from CUNY and BMI 3 weeks ago. So I'm just trying to make my own waves and trying to make my own way. Because at the end of the day, I don't control what FUBU does. Even though I'm a partner in it, I'm not the guy that's gonna make it go or not go. So at the end of the day, I need something that I can control. So
I mean, you seem to stay pretty booked and busy though. Like you are. I mean, you always flying around. Like
I'm trying. I'm literally. And it feels good. I was telling somebody, this is the freest I've felt in 30 years.
Really?
Because I'm working on me, and it feels good to just work on me and put myself first and not put everything else before me.
Forging your own identity.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, when they have those girl groups and boy groups and then they break up.
Yeah.
So
it's like. Kind of like that.
Yeah. So let's.
Because you go a long time and then people want to do different things and then they're not interested in doing or being, together anymore. And, you kind of got to figure it out for yourself.
Okay.
I went through a deep depression years ago and, it was bad, and it got to a point where, I almost committed suicide from it. Yeah, it was bad. And then at the end of the day, I'm sitting around looking like, what do I do? Like, what can I do?
It was your identity for so long.
Yeah, it was like, what can I do? So I had to sit back and go through and basically start over, from the ground up. And, I reconnected with my guys for a little while. We did some things together, but, it was never the way it was before. So,
yeah. So I guess, where does that leave you kind of now? Like, what do you want to do?
Oh, I want to do exactly what I'm doing. I want to be able to, because I've been dealing with kids and giving back. Like I told you earlier, it's like I didn't have anybody that looked like me that came and talked to me and inspired me. So I want to be that inspiration for kids that, that are out there that, that maybe in a desperate situation and they don't understand how they can push forward or move forward. Because I lived a hell of a life. I did some things I'm proud of, and I did some things I'm not proud of. And if I can take my experiences and turn that into motivation for these kids and let them know, like, hey, you know, you don't always got to be on the right side, but as long as you get on the right side, you'll be all right, you know, before it's too late. So I like working with kids, and I've been speaking to kids, boys and girls, colleges, you know, youth centers, just for basically my whole career. Like I wasn't let me go talk to these 500 companies. I want to reach back and get these kids some motivation so that they can push forward and be, you know, successful. And I think I've been doing a great job of that. But now, you know, being around the schools and the colleges and talking to the educators, they're like, yo, you have something that you need to, you know, get to these kids. And my good friends allowed me to teach a semester at a school, which was like 18 weeks.
What did you teach?
I taught at East New York Middle School of Excellence in Brooklyn.
What did you teach them?
I actually taught podcasting because they had a whole podcasting computer class. Mm-hmm. So I taught them what I do on the radio and how, you know, and it was crazy because what was crazy is you know, in my mind, I'm like really not an official teacher. So I was trying to figure out how do I go in there and grab these kids' attention. The first 2 weeks was kind of crazy because nobody was really listening and they was talking and fighting and doing all of this stuff. And my guy Smitty was like, listen, this is a legend here. You know, don't waste his time. He's here to try to show you guys some things. And they were like, you know, and once he said that, they got their phone. Let me see who this.
Okay, you had to earn their respect.
But then when they started looking at my page and seeing all the people that I know and the situations that I was a part of, they was like, oh, okay. And then I felt at that time it was time to turn the mics on and turn the headphones and turn the cameras on. And when I did that, they came together and they rocked out for the next 16 weeks. And it was just smooth sailing. And, you know, at the end, they were like, Dr. Perrin, are you coming back next year? I was like, I hope so. I hope they bring me back. He was like, nah, we need you back, man. We had great time with you. So
yeah. I love that. So let me ask you, going back to the culture, right? Mm-hmm. Food was part of the culture. You're getting a chance now to work with the future with these kids, mm-hmm. right? What would you say if you had to do it again and you had to reach this generation now? Mm-hmm. What do you think a business needs to do in order to reach this generation now? Whether it's selling them clothes, media, whatever.
I think it's easier now because of all the access that you guys have. Like, mm-hmm. you know, with us, when we wanted to let people know about our brand, you know, we had to spend $15,000 for a one page in the magazine. You guys have social media. You can do it for free. You got YouTube. You got so many different avenues you have that you can you can utilize for free, or spend $100 a month and advertise your business. You know, now, you know, and then the only time our price came down is if we bought 2 pages.
Well, let me ask you though, like, I know with FUBU and the time you all were like, you know, at your peak, it seemed like celebrity, you all really built something off of the celebrity influence. Mm-hmm. Do you think that celebrity is such a big thing anymore?
Mm-mm. I don't think a celebrity wearing your clothes is going to move these kids anymore. Mm-hmm. I think it's past that. I think it's, you know, you may have some kids that are influenced by that, but you're not going to, like, just because this person wore it, you're not going to wear it. Because mm-hmm. a ton of people still wear FUBU, but you've seen kids running out talking about they run FUBU. Yeah, you have some that are like, you know, I'm going to get my pop stuff. But it's not like, it's not the same.
Yeah.
It's not the same. Like, now it's almost what kind of trend or what kind of influence your brand has, as opposed to who's wearing your brand. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, is your brand exclusive? These kids like exclusiveness now, mm-hmm. where they can have it, and not everybody has it. So who has those exclusive pieces? So that's why you see with the pop-up shops, and they do, things like Complex Con, where they only make certain amount of pieces for Complex Con, so that if you go there, you can get some pieces that everybody don't have,
So let me ask you, what brand out there do you think is doing it right?
I think Actively Black.
I like them. Did you go to their show?
I actually walked in there. I modeled in their
show.
Yeah.
I love them. Okay.
There,
you did your thing.
Yeah,
you did your thing.
Yeah.
I love it.
I came out there fully swagged out because I never walked in a show before. So only show that I walked in was...
How did that happen?
Lanny just reached out to us. He was like, "Yo, dog, I want you to come walk in the show."
Okay.
So just like he reached out to the Black Panthers and the civil rights leaders, and that he just did his show with, he did that with all. And what another thing that I like is he's pushing a narrative of Blackness. Some people are afraid to show their true Blackness. Even with us, we were Black owned, but we didn't. It wasn't all about Blackness.
Yeah.
We were early, so we had to ride the fence so that we can open up the gates for a person like Nanny to come in.
Daymond, I watched the interview that he did recently, and he said he said his Jewish stepfather told him, "You can be pro-Black, but don't be anti-anything." Right. Yeah. So I definitely think that works.
Yeah, I mean it works, but you also have to know when to, and I don't think Lanny Smith, the creator of Actively Black, is anti anything either. No. He's just more about his Blackness, about supporting his Blackness, about supporting his Black people, about putting his people first. And he will stand up to anybody. And sometimes I think he's gonna get in, not trouble, but he's gonna catch a little flack for it. But I don't think he cares. But sometimes people go at him for just promoting Black. You know what I mean? But when you look at Abercrombie and Fitch, or you look at other people, or you look at what's the line that made the little monkey shirt for the Black kid? What was that? Was that Forever 21?
I don't know. But I know what you're talking about.
But when you put a Black kid in a shirt and says something about the best monkey in the jungle, or something to say, right? But then you put a white kid in a shirt that says animal trainer or something that they did. It's something, you got to look it up. I know I get a little confused sometimes, but it's like, so this one is the best monkey in the jungle, but this one here is the animal trainer or whatever it said. Like, who, they caught a little flack from that, but who was in that room? You understand what I'm saying? When they was making those decisions. So, someone like Nanny who's definitely.
Do you think that was on purpose?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. It was on purpose,
Because a lot of times when these things happen, they're like, oh, we don't know.
No, it is, let me tell
you. Tell us how it works.
First of all, you got to think about it. Okay. Then you got to put it on paper. Then you got to perfect it. Then you got to show it to the people to approve it. Then you got to manufacture it. It's true. And then after they did all of that, then they advertised it. So nobody saw that. Through all of those steps, nobody saw it. Nobody said anything.
Come on now. I know. I feel you. Just had to ask. I just had to ask. Well, I love it. Listen, I think that's about it. I don't know if there's any questions. Don't you have a book coming out that you're doing?
Yeah, I'm working on my memoir right now.
Okay.
I'm about 5 chapters in. I sit down in about a week or so to do more interviews to create the next, few chapters. I'm working on a mini documentary with my boy Imrek. He does a lot of stuff out in New York, and got a nice buzz. And we sat down, excuse me, and it didn't start out as a documentary. It started out as an interview, and we wound up talking for 5 hours.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, dog, like, how did we do that? And one day we sat in the office, we chopped it up for like 3 hours, and then he was like, yo, we could turn this into like a little mini doc. Let's shoot somewhere else. So I took him around my neighborhood where I grew up, showed him my my apartment where I grew up in. And he was like, "Man, he was right on the street. He was right here, bro." I was like, "Yeah, this is where I grew up."
Mm-hmm.
So, putting something together with him, trying to get that out. And we'll see how that goes. We got a little interest in it, so I don't want to really talk about it too much because I want it to, come to fruition before I start. I don't like talking about things that aren't solidified yet.
I hear you.
A lot of people do that and they put that out there, and then something happens and it doesn't come out, and people are like, "Well, what happened to?" But
it's going to happen for you. Okay, I'm going to declare that it's going to happen for you. Well, listen, Dr. Keith Perrin. Okay, we so appreciate you coming, hanging out with us, right? For sure. If the people want to reach you, how can they reach you? Tell them.
You can reach me at on Instagram, Mr. Keezo, MrKeeYzo. And from there, or you can just Google my name and you'll find me. All right, then. All right. Well, listen, y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Okay, Get Well with Mel. All right, this is day 77 of my 90-day quest to become a nationwide talk show host. It's gonna happen. Okay, and look what God did. Okay, all right, He brought the man from the top. So y'all stay tuned. Make sure y'all share this out. Let me know y'all favorite part in the comments. And listen, keep tuning in. Tell a friend to tell a friend. All right. Out. All right.